We, I hope everyone is doing well. We have an amazing guest today with us. Hello and welcome to the FemmeFortea Spotlight, where today we talk about feminine wealth building. Where is your money trapped? It's an amazing question, isn't it? Please welcome Elina, a brilliant woman who helps ambitious women rise as feminine leaders and build wealth through their authentic self and thrive without burning out. It's such a brilliant, beautiful message. Hi, Elina, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much, Agnes. Thank you so much for inviting me for this beautiful talk. I feel honored.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for being the first one in the series. And even our connection, how we connected, right? It was brilliant and divine. And I feel like, right? I feel like then this is really how business and the industry is changing. In my book, The Sophisticated Buyer's Era, I talked about how the online business industry is changing as is, but also about how amazing that is, that we see a new feminine-led era emerging. And my brand is about leading women into their, not dimming their power anymore and their brilliance, and really, this system, what's out there, it's just keeping them trapped. So it's really time to be unapologetic and work with our feminine power. So that's how we met. How is your interpretation about how we met?
How we met, yes. I mean, in terms of the fact, our beautiful common connection, Nolene, has introduced us, which I was not expecting at all, because I haven't spoken to Nolene for ages. And I'm like, oh, she's recommending me as a money and wealth coach. And I'm like, wow, amazing, thank you. And then we got on a Zoom call with Agnes and we felt instant connection, alignment, and realize that our meeting is for a reason, for a very specific reason. And on an energetic level, I want to explain how this meeting came about. I've been thinking and wanting to do collaboration and talk publicly for some time now. And if I'm being extremely honest, I was scared to be visible. And isn't it a common kind of, trait of many women who want to step up and to speak up and to become more successful? I was scared subconsciously. And I didn't take much action. So I didn't reach out to a lot of people. I didn't ask for it. I did nothing. But I did have that desire. And then I kept working on through my fear of visibility. And when I started seeing myself for myself, when I opened up the channel of me acknowledging myself on all levels and being okay with who I am, acknowledging my emotions, whether good or bad, acknowledging the fact that I won't be liked by everyone, acknowledging the fact that my truth is my truth and my truth is divine truth. If it needs to come out, means someone needs to hear that. I'm a true believer in that. This is why in our divine ideas and divine truth is called divine, because we are here for a reason. Every single soul on this planet is for a reason. We need to shine the light with this to others. It means someone else needs to hear that. So when I allowed myself all of these things, truly and authentically, all of a sudden I had an invitation. And this is what I want to highlight. This is the difference between masculine way of building a business when you say, okay, you need collaborative talk. Okay, here's the plan, go for it. Contact 30 people. Yeah, it has its place. Of course, it can be done. It's not about sitting around and waiting. No, but there is another way. When you acknowledge your desire, when you allow yourself that desire, you work through the blocks that may be blocking you, and you let go. You can still take action on it, absolutely, but you're not kind of attached to this. You're not controlling that. You open to receive that, right? So, and when it happens, it feels effortless. It feels like I haven't done much.
I know, right? It's like,
Yeah, I haven't done much.
yeah, right, what
Yeah.
I supposed to do, but things are happening. So
Things are happening. It's like synchronicity. But it's not true that you haven't done much. You've done a lot. You've done a lot of internal work. And because internal work has been never considered as work, work is only considered when you do something like forward doing, right? Going forward, pushing through, you know? So that's considered as work. But when you do internal work, it's not visible. But this is feminine work because feminine is about being internal, right? This is what the difference between feminine and masculine. So feminine is on the inside, so we're nurturing, right, from inside, and masculine is, you know, going forward. And absolutely, we can, you know, we combine both, and we do have to have both. But it's, you know, if a woman is really desiring to live through her feminine because it's corresponding with her, because it feels natural for her, because she feels, you know, less stress, less burnout, less kind of going against her nature. It feels more aligned, right? And
right,
she's flourishing when she's growing her success rather than being exhausted and burned out or anything like this, right? So,
right.
and we're still taking action because what we're doing now with Agnes, we are taking action, right? But we are taking it from the place of alignment, from the place from inside out action, right? So that's kind of a powerful example that started this work with this kind of connection.
Love it, love it. And you are a success coach. What have you seen in the industry changing recently that more and more women are waking up and taking their place and ownership?
Yeah, and I think I've experienced that myself because I've been kind of in a personal development, in the coaching space, and in online space for a few years now myself. And I've done so many different things, including following someone else's strategy. And you know what I notice now, what I see it now after speaking to women, there are so many women that've taken up group programs or you know predefined strategy programs where things are promised and it hasn't worked, you know, and it hasn't worked, and then they start questioning if they're good enough because it has worked for someone else, and they compare themselves and they go, well, actually, you know what, maybe I'm just not capable. And there's a lot of that, I'll just give up on myself, basically, yeah. And so it is, I think it's been a moment where a lot of women entrepreneurs, and especially in the coaching space, they kind of retreated. It's like, oh no, I just, you know, I'm giving up on that. And I personally spoke to some women in the coaching space who used to be very successful, and they're now doing something completely different, and not necessarily from their soul level, but more from the I need money level. And I don't criticize that, of course. And by the way, this is another topic because I'm a money coach. So money can absolutely support you on all different levels. And how can money come to you? It's kind of a minefield, an open space. And if money needs to support you in a certain way to build your business, soul business, that's absolutely fine. But I'm talking about giving up on their purpose completely only because online space has become like, you know what, if you're not in a certain way, if you're not in a certain crowd, if you're not in a certain clique, then nobody will take you seriously, right? So, but I see a lot of movement now is to become you, to be you, to allow yourself to be authentic, to land in your truth, to find your message. And, you know, even in my topic of feminine wealth building, there are a lot of women who are also in this topic because women are on feminine energies on the rise, and many women, and actually men as well, they experience the need of rising the feminine energy, but everybody is talking about this in their own ways within their own message. So they maybe the essence is similar, but they are saying it in different ways, and they are giving it from different directions and different dimensions. And it's much needed to be in a different way because there are so many people, and everybody will hear what they will hear. Somebody will hear Agnes, somebody will hear me, somebody will hear someone else. That's why we are needed to be very different, because we are speaking to different people. And You know, we cannot just say the same things, you know, online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. We are not the same, and I think that's the beauty in there, right? That the more you hear a topic, the more you hear different angles and different things.
Different angles, yeah.
Yeah, something will shift in people, and I really hope that we can move into an era where it is okay to be you. It is, you are not judged, right? I'm so sick and tired of being judged for something that, you know, just feels good to me, but other people are judging for some, you know, box that they thought it's good to, I don't know, shame people for something. So it's like, why can't we just do you do your best with the best intent, of course, but at the end of the day, if you are working for a higher good to help others, to help your community, to help your family, let's just do that. Let's just do that. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about, you know, the heart and soul behind your business. What started you on this journey?
Mm-hmm. I think this particular topic that I'm very much in alignment with in terms of, you know, feminine energy, feminine wealth building, money coaching, it's taken me years to arrive to, and it's about arriving to my personal truth through my own struggles. You know, I've been in the coaching world for a few years, I think since 2018. And, you know, when you start, you think, oh, okay, you already know so much. But then, no, the journey only begins because you begin your own growth journey and you come out there and you go like, I know nothing. There are people who nailed it. They like, oh my God, I can't even go be visible because who am I? You know, and this is the very wrong place to be because even if you're not really far, I mean, first of all, there is no limit for personal growth, right? So there isn't such thing. Okay, if someone grown, you know, to guru level and you're not allowed to even be seen, no, you have to start your journey where you are and acknowledge and accept where you are on whatever level, because whatever level you are at, there are people who need your help, right? So there are people who are still a little bit two steps behind what you already been through, for example, right? So yeah, and I've started with a topic of career coaching because was my previous corporate experience in HR and recruitment, and it worked really well. But then I started feeling the need to grow myself and to help people more on you know, confidence levels and limiting beliefs levels. And from that place, I started evolving. And by taking various, like, I've taken a very comprehensive coaching diploma with ICF, and I've done NLP qualifications, and I'm doing another trauma responsive coaching. So through my personal growth, I started arriving to this question, Elina, but why are you here? What's your core message? What's your, I mean, the marketing people always say you need core message. Your message needs to be clear, right? I help XYZ with XYZ, and that's it. It's like tattoo, right? And I always struggled with that because I always felt I haven't arrived yet, you know. And that's okay, by the way. If anybody is feeling like related to that, that's okay. It's nothing wrong. It's just, you know, you're still finding your truth, and you're still finding, what is it that you want to come up with? What is it that you want to be visible for, right? So yeah, it's taking me a few years, and I ask myself personally, what life challenges do I have? Because our life challenges is our compass. We either take them to become victims or we take them as a reason to grow, right? And when I analyze my entire life, this is the message. Yeah, I've nailed it all. I've got 3 master's degree. You know, I built successful career in corporate. You know, I have no problems with, you know, business strategies and putting my head down and working hard. It's like God, the universe, they know all of this. They know. I can, you know, I'm totally fine with this. I don't need to be pushed. I don't need to be, I'm self-sufficient, I'm self-motivated. But what's always been missing, and this is my personal, how to say, path, and my mission for myself, first of all, is to learn to be feminine and acknowledge my feminine side. So my life challenges took me through my entire life. And I was very resistant to acknowledge that. I was still going into, no, tell me the strategy, please. No, it's just I need to change the strategy. I
Isn't
need to
that,
I need to work harder. I need to push harder. I
yeah.
need more willpower.
And I think this is what the whole corporate and let's fit into men's world and those boxes uh, did to us, right? It's just I was the type of girl, I'm the structure, I am the give me a Trello board, checklist, and I'm good to go until I wasn't able to, right? And then you go into this whole self-development journey and you realize it's like, ooh, okay, so the things that I thought are my superpowers actually holding me back, right? Because we need to look inside and see our
Right, yes,
listen
right.
to our intuition. We need to find the ways that work for us, and pushing through is not an answer, is not hustle, is not an answer. I love that we haven't talked about actually about this before, but it's now we
Yeah.
know why you connected.
Even from the name of this word, pushing through is not very feminine trait, right? It's a
Yes.
masculine, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just acknowledging. And is this serving you? Because the truth is, we need to be honest with ourselves first. Is this serving me? No. If you're feeling burned out, exhausted, things are not happening, and you want to give up, and and you continue pushing through, you just have to give up on that. You just have to finally acknowledge it's not working. I need to take a step back and reassess, right? And it's hard because, as you say, we've been wired that success needs to be built in a certain way, in a man's way, for the man's world. Because remember that song, it's a man's world, So I've had 3 university degrees. Do they teach you feminine way of building success? Absolutely not. Do they teach you what relationship with money is, what money really is on energy level? Absolutely not. They teach you about rationale, numbers, you know, which has its place, but it's not how feminine starts with. Feminine starts from inside, and she's, open to receive, right? And she chooses the strategy that's in alignment with her. It's like choosing a partner, right? You allow yourself to be a woman, but you can't, choose everyone. So you choose one particular special person in alignment with your feminine nature, because another woman will have another feminine type of, she'll have different energy, and she will be unaligned with another partner, right? Same as with strategies, right? Because it's about capacity and how we are built. So yeah, so I think what that powerful moment, and I don't know if everybody will get that. Stop resisting your feminine nature. Give up. Give in to it. Brave yourself. No, you will not be unsuccessful because of this. It's safe. You'll be more successful. Why? Because you cannot call yourself successful if you're ill, if you're burned out, if you've got problems in your relationships, right? If you're not working through your authentic self, but you keep going against your nature, you will always feel like you're struggling, even if you have a lot of money, right? Because eventually it affects your physical health, right?
Right, right.
This moment giving in is hard to come.
Yeah, and it needs a lot of acceptance, I guess, self-acceptance, and it can be painful, isn't it? Because the
Yeah.
picture what we tend to carry, uh, shatters, and maybe you need to rebuild yourself in order to find who you are below all of that, right? It is beautiful, like really like the butterfly, or like the phoenix, right? So many women using the phoenix metaphor, and I think you understand it when you understand it, right? It's like those phrases you only understand when it really clicks.
Yeah, definitely.
Love it, love it.
And it's
So
about, yeah.
sorry, go
Mhm.
on.
No, I was going to say it's about energy. So it's not about like, because what I'm reading now as well from my favorite coaches and mentors online, they're now going out with this idea to men, because the feminine energy is not gender related, it's energy related, and it's about acknowledging where it's lacking, you know, because it's about qualities, it's about going inside and being in touch with your heart and your soul, and in this way. So I think it's just generally there is more feminine energy needed in the world.
Yes. Amen. Amen to that. Let's preach. Let's preach. Who do you love helping the most? What changes for them when they work with you? What's the baseline where you are, okay, this person has tons of potential. When they meet you, what's the core problem or issue they are facing?
There are many.
I know. The answer we don't like. Marketers.
I'm trying to find the right word for that. Yeah, they want to fly high. They want to fly high for sure. I think for the women who come to me, what I notice, they want to have it all. They want to have beautiful business that they love, which is not going to let them to burn out, and which is not going to take away their mental health, their physical health, you know, impact their family life and personal life. How it happens in the masculine way of building business, a lot of women who are successful in that way, as I said, it would have an impact on their personal life a lot, because and that's not what my clients want. They want to have harmony, right? And this is like building that brick by brick, by not pushing through, but understanding what's resisting, what is the resistance towards that, opening up to that concept, being ready to receive, being open to receive, right? Regulating their nervous system so they don't feel unsafe by being successful in this way, because it's still not conventional way of building success.
Ooh, let's talk about that. What is the conventional way? I guess when people meet you, then they're like, okay, this is how I want to have it. And then they start working with you, and then they realize that, okay, there is a brand new, total new path. Is that possible? Or you see that the idea they come with, how we are conditioned to how wealth looks like, or how this or that supposed to be or should be, and then when you really work through all of these layers, do things change, and do they realize that, oh, okay, whatever I wanted when we started, it's not that anymore, but something even more deeper, better?
Yeah, of
Is that
course.
so? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when they start working with the coach, or like on myself, we go on their journey, we go to explore their journey, their soul journey. And this is one concept I'm really in alignment with, because there's a lot of noise online in terms of how you should be, and inviting you, like if you come and join, you'll be there. But I am always keeping flexible. How do I know exactly where that person will want to be on the journey with me, right? And it will be their authentic opening up. You know, they may come and with a very fixed way of how they see their success will need to be built and look like. They may say, oh, is Elina going to help me to build a funnel? No, that's not my technical expertise, and I'm not going to give you step by step all these kind of things, right? I'm more working with you as a person in terms of what needs to come out. Where do you need to be more visible? With what message? With what value, right? And these other things like strategy and how to are the tools. And usually they become very apparent when we are ready to receive. Like, for example, when I became ready to be more open and to be seen, the how, like Agnes invited me to speak, has come up. And someone may say, oh, you know what? But that's not with Tony Robbins. You need to have like 1 billion viewers, and that's not enough. You know what? That's not how your journey starts. It's not how your journey evolves, and whatever you're doing now is enough, right? So what I'm saying is like, shut the noise and shut the other people's opinion. Shut of this, I'm not enough, small talk. You're enough right now. You're beautiful. You are enough. I think
Yeah.
that,
Isn't that the biggest one of the biggest issues what we face online, right? It's like you are comparing yourself. Why is this person there? But actually really releasing everything and focusing on your own path and comparing yourself with only, you know, yourself from yesterday and the visibility and all these things, isn't that the biggest barrier as well, and the ease that brings us into that alignment, what so many people are talking about. But I think it's really hard to understand when you are on the other side, still on the other side of that, right? It's huge, isn't it?
yes, it's huge. It's huge, you know. And it takes a lot of courage to quite, how to say, to minimize that noise.
Yes, yeah, we are conditioned, aren't we? That we need to fit into the box and we need to fit into the society or the norms that are around us, right? And I believe what I've seen in the past, I'm in the online business industry for 11 years now, right? So I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. I heard a lot. I'm a part of this change, how everything evolves, right? And you see now what was working, what wasn't working, and how people stopped or where people stopped in their journey. And I think so many people stopped working because of that, because family wasn't supporting them, because no one understood the lingo that we are learning and using, right? And then people are just, oh, they're stupid, and oh, the manifestation, oh, what, they don't even understand the words that we are using. It can be hard, but that's why I love to showcase people like you as well, right? Who are helping others to be the part of this change and be the part of, don't give up. There is another level. Yes, it might be hard to keep out the noise, but at the end of the day, it's so worth it to find yourself. And you have that desire, don't we? We all have that desire to do something to help others. And I think that's so magical that that you guys can help others to dig it out. Because I'm the process. I am the strategy. I am the, you know, let's brainstorm. I'm pulling out the magic out of my clients. But mindset is so crucial. It doesn't matter what kind of checklist I give you or what kind of tasks I give you or strategy I give you. If you're not aligned with that, then
Yes,
it just will not work. And that's why I started to focus on really pulling out why you are not aligned with certain strategies and try to find the right things at the right stage for you, mentally, mindset wise, and strategy wise as well. But I love what you guys doing, where you really help people to rise out of that ashes or out of those steps what needed, Lloyd.
yeah. And sometimes when you ask like, how do, for example, if I give example from one of my clients, we just finished 3 months coaching container, and she started brand new travel business, which she already had another business which was giving her stable income, but it wasn't really soul aligned. It was more of a, okay, let's give me some stability and something to relax into, but definitely wasn't fulfilling, right? So, and we were on the journey of self-discovery for a while initially, and she finally acknowledged her childhood dream that she always wanted to, you know, travel and, you know, speak about traveling and more in the creative ways and more, not from like glossy kind of magazine package deals, but more from authentic in terms of You know, she's now traveling and filming herself and, you know, speaking from her own personal kind of adventures. You know, it's like, so basically she's living her life and she's creating business from that. You know, how beautiful is that? It's like you're not saying, okay, this is my life and this is my business. It's kind of all blended in, you know.
Isn't that what we want? Isn't
Yeah.
that the idea has been sold, the laptop lifestyle idea has been sold to us back in the days, right? And I'm here to advocate as well. It is possible for you. You do need to find your own little thing, and
Yeah.
you do need to find something that aligns with you and with your family's needs and everything, right? But at the end of the day, oh, I love these stories. It's like you really can make it
You really
happen.
can.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And, you know, for everybody it will be different things, but it's
Mhm.
absolutely worth it to explore that, right? And then I remember when she said, like, when she started the business, she said, Elina, I want by the end of our work to have 500 people on my Instagram. And we got to the last session, and Instagram hasn't grown because she wasn't deliberately doing any actions for increasing followers. And it was really funny because next day after our session, she said, you can't believe what happened. So someone invited her to a talk as well or something.
Well,
In one day, she got 600 and something. And she said, you know what? We didn't only hit our goal, we just we achieved it. And it was only from one action, you know?
wow. And that's the magic when you align, right? And she could have gone into the, oh, this wasn't worth it because we haven't had the numbers and the goals, we haven't achieved what was needed.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
could have gone into that way.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, instead of, and this is why I admire my clients like this because they're not judging immediately from their ego mind, oh, it's not working, it's not working. This is another thing, by the way, to acknowledge every single move forward, even if it's not measurable yet. But things like feeling more confident, being more visible, talking more, because she went from the place she was scared to share about her travel business to be able, because she was afraid to be judged for everyone who knew her from another side, you know? It's like, how dare you starting something that you really love? From
Good.
the place where she's now, okay, this is where I am now. Look at me, like this is what we're doing as a family. This is what I can, you know. And I said to her, you know what? These are massive achievements. Okay, you might not report £1 million yet, but I'm sure she will because it's very authentic. And I think this is how the whole business thing kind of industry is changing as well. People are tired from glossy, perfect images because they don't feel connected to it, right? So this is why this direct selling and direct services, including this coaching or any other services, are so relevant right now because people want, if they receive services, they want to feel connected to it. They want to be seen, they want to be supported closer. They want to know what they're buying, basically, not only the glossy picture.
Yeah, we have been lied to, right, in the past couple of years, and the industry sold us things with great copy, right, and great sales pages, which weren't for the level of business maybe, or for your technical skills and so on and so forth. And yes, we need that, especially for premium services, right? We need that beautiful connection, and we need that, and even, you know, it's like I don't even want to work with someone who doesn't align with my values, with my style, with my authenticity. But that comes only through when you give yourself, right, when you show up like you. Because I don't like, right, if someone doesn't like my accent, we don't need to work together, because, you know, I don't want you to listen to this all day every day if you don't want to, right? It's like, that's it, that's how easy it is, and so on and so forth. So you need to show up from a place of authenticity to get the clients who are really aligning with you. And that's why I think content creation changed a lot, and I believe now with AI, and I don't like shaming people for AI. I'm using that as well, right? It's like even AI pictures and stuff like that. I think it comes from the intention again, how you work with it and why you are doing it, right? If you are a 16-year-old child sitting in mom's basement and creating an Instagram account about a sexy female someone, so people pay for something, right? Then that's not authentic. That doesn't align. But if you want to use AI to help your brand a little bit, to not to need to put makeup on and go for photo shoots and it looks authentic, or like you do, then that's totally fine. So I think it's a little bit shifting now. But if you give yourself, if you give your best, if you show up like you feel showing up, then that's the most what you can do, and that's the most attractive that you can do, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Love it, love it. If someone's just discovering you, what's one shift or tool or approach that you always share that get results, that really people are like, okay, this is a good start?
You mean you're talking about specific modality that I work with, or
Yeah,
just
or what is the one thing that you know that they need in order to get results?
talking again when you say one thing, it's usually it's the feeling of empowerment, yeah, for sure. A feeling of allowing yourself to go for it and allowing yourself for any outcome, because it's not about success from the first attempt. It's about resilience, and that resilience doesn't have to feel like a stress, because it's every single time it's about acceptance of everything that's going on and accepting yourself. So say, for example, something hasn't worked out, then you're not in a place of feeling like a victim, you're in a place of accepting and learning, and it's okay, So I think moving through this acceptance every single day, every single time, and feeling empowered, and most of all, feeling like I'm totally allowed to want more on all levels. I'm not selfish because of this, it's safe because I'm not going to deliberately upset people, but equally, I'm not responsible for their emotions.
Oh, yeah.
If they're upset because I'm moving forward, I'm not their mother. I can offer to talk through this, yeah? Or if they ask me for any support or help, if I'm talking about family members, close people, right? But you cannot, because this thing about pleasing, right? And taking responsibility for someone else's emotional, because basically the rule is we all have to take responsibility for ourselves, and what women do a lot, and that's probably another deep topic, because they're wired to be mothers from their nature, is to kind of tend other people's emotions. Oh, if my child is upset, and it's okay, that's coming from motherhood. Like if your child is upset, you want to go and soothe them, right? Yeah, whoever has kids understand. And then it becomes to other people as well. Then it's the same for partners. Unfortunately, a lot of women mother their partners. I speak to my girlfriends and I hear what they're saying. And this mothering of your partner, that's not the way to healthy relationships. This is where the woman will feel abandoned as a woman. She will feel as a mother, but not as a woman. And that's a different this is a different state, right?
Yeah, and then you don't have the partner that you're looking for because he feels like you are mothering him, right?
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So that it starts a whole circle that you can't escape, or it's really hard. It's really hard to escape. Yeah, guilt and shame, right? Those are the biggest ones at the end of the day. It's one
Guilt,
of my clients. Yeah.
guilt and shame are the real stoppers, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. So you usually start with putting those in place, or giving different perspective and seeing that people really can move through that.
So my approach, I'm not imposing immediately directly how my clients have to be. So I start exploring. So I start with questionnaire, first of all, where they are, where they would like to be, and what they believe is in the way, right, between these two. And they can offload anything they want. They may say, oh, the market is really tough, or the strategy, I don't know how to. There's a lot of this how to, or I don't have support from my partner, or I don't have enough money, or something like this. And then we start exploring what's really underneath everything. And, because I'm trained in NLP and I'm trained as a transformational coach, and I'm training through to become trauma responsive coach, which I've already done one level. And so I see how on emotional level things are being held back, so it's more of my observation rather than me saying, oh, you know what, I think you should be like this. No, because it doesn't work like this. So what works when people arrive to their own awakening moments, when they, oh my God, all these years I've been pleasing. And when a woman clearly sees that, it can be a very painful moment as well. It can be very enlightening, very liberating, but at the same time, it can be like, all these years I wasted to please everybody else's needs, and I abandoned myself. That's hurt. It hurts, right? And this is the time when I really need to hold space for that woman, because if she's not held, and if she's been like this for years in her family, the chances are that she will be held in the family are very low, because people are used to her to be in a certain way. So she needs to be held by a coach in that space so she doesn't derail back. Because she will see that her more empowered self, she will see that where she's been pleasing and she shouldn't be doing that anymore. But she needs to be held in that space so she doesn't lose it,
Right, right. I see that on the other side and on the business side as well, right? When people, oh, yes, this is a great idea, let's do that. And they can't really explain at home what's going on, right? Or they don't know, I see that from my clients, they don't know how they react, or, while you are going through, I assume you've seen that with your clients as well, that they are going through all these changes and they can't explain. They are not really prepared what will bubble up or what will happen, right? And then the family doesn't really know how to handle this
Yeah,
new
they don't know
mess.
how to handle. Yeah, and I think this is another thing. Why do I believe like being trained as a professional coach, and I've got, the psychology education is important, because then when they go and embody that, ideally needs to be in a way that, like, I would say, gradual way, so they don't shock the family or they
Yeah,
don't shock,
right.
you know what I mean? So yeah, some people will never understand. It has to be acknowledged as well. But in many cases, it has to be like fed in a certain way and and this has all been talked through during the sessions, because the woman can say, okay, I'm awakened now, but what do I do now with my old structure? Do
Yeah.
I go and ruin it all? No,
Yeah.
that's not the way.
Yeah, that's why you need someone who
You need,
understands
yeah,
the process, right? Because you are not, and I talked about from my own experience, right? You don't know what's going on until you are in the middle, right? It's like you are the old ways, not working anymore, right? But the new ways are not really cemented into your new habits and the new thinking and the
exactly.
new beliefs and stuff. And there is a void in between that I haven't really heard anyone talk about too much until I was there. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but what's now, right? It's like, how do I manage this? How do I handle this? And I know I for example, I didn't talk to my mom for weeks while I was going through that, because I was just, I can't, manage situations, because I'm not there where I used to be, and I'm not there where I want to be. And I just couldn't handle certain things. So I think preparing people for those and having someone to talk to is so crucial, who
Yeah,
understands what you are
absolutely.
going through,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is called psyche. And when you know how to work with people and how to hold the space for them and how to make sure they feel safe
Yeah.
to implement all of this. And that's another trait of the feminine energy. You know, when you arrive to a certain awakening moment, it's about, again, nurturing,
Mm.
not sharply going ahead and destroying everything old and things like this, you know. And I've learned it hard ways, because at the end of the day, you kind of not doing yourself service as well. So you have to be gentle with yourself first of all, and you'll be gentle with everyone around. And as I said, even if you're gentle with everyone around, some people may still not agree, and that's okay. Because in some parts of your life, you will have to acknowledge misalignment on a kind of a deep level, like you know,
Right.
core misalignment.
Right.
And it
Right.
will be painful, but it will be liberating at the same time.
Exactly. 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 So where is wealth building? Where is our money trapped?
Well, I think it's a summary of everything that we talked about, you know. So it's initially, you have to begin to allow yourself to be seen for yourself, you have to allow yourself to be more emotionally. Say, for example, you just start with very simple assessment with everything that's going on at the moment, not only in business, but in your personal life as well, and see where you're downgrading yourself in order to be liked, to please, to believe that if you do in a certain way, you'll be successful, you know, where you really are going against yourself, against your true self, because this is where your energy is trapped, your authentic energy, right? Because
Mm.
in authentic energy, we're in a high vibrations, because in those authentic energy, there is no shame, there is no guilt, there is no fear, anxiety, all these low vibrational, you know, kind of qualities or feelings, as you say. But writing on authentic level, this is where you allow yourself to be seen. And as I said, it starts with yourself, you know.
Yes.
And for women, for a lot of women who are maybe in the family situations, and because a lot of family have built in a very traditional patriarchal way still, and this is another awakening moment. There are a lot of divorces these days going on, unfortunately, because women, they find it really hard to be in old ways, to be this good wife, good girl, you know, to tend to others and abandoning themselves. So you start assessing yourself on all levels, and it's not just about business. And there is a lot of truth in relationships, because this is where a woman realizes or not realizes her feminine energy. There's a lot of truth to be taken, and sometimes it's really hard.
Yeah, and you realize that what you've built and what you've worked for, it's not aligned. It was never aligned, right? You just need to push through and find your own authentic way of living with it. And unfortunately, sometimes that means, you need to leave, you need to divorce, you need to set healthy boundaries, right?
Sometimes it leads to that, and this is a bitter truth to accept, but you know, then it's a question, how do you want to live your life, right?
Yeah, yeah.
In a pleasing mode. Yeah, so you start with acknowledging yourself, your truth, and your desires. You allow your desires to be seen without being afraid to be criticized. So what's coming up for me? I mean, it's a very basic, like, if you want a bigger house, and I hear it on sessions during, like, of women who are already in relationship, long-term relationship or marriage or something. If a woman wants something and she voices it to her partner, he may go, but we don't have the money for it. You know, how dare you even, thinking about this, that's kind of, and it's not like, and a woman will agree, some women will agree to that. She will say, oh yeah, yeah, sure. We can
What
hardly
was I
cover
thinking?
this. I'm so selfish, we can hardly cover this. And I want to go to, I don't know, Bahamas or something. That's so selfish of me. I have to think about my child's private school, not about Bahamas. It's just an example, right? So if you know that you will get criticized for that desire, just announce it for yourself.
And work on it in the background, right?
Announce it for yourself, but at the same time, that's another thing. You know, your partner may be scared of your desires because he doesn't see rationally where the money is coming from. But he may react in a different way. He may still support you with your desire.
Yeah.
You know, he may still say things like, yeah, I really wish this will come true for you. You know?
Yeah, or because if ego is hurt, right, or he thinks that it's him who needs to, work
Yeah,
harder for
yeah,
you
yeah.
to be
Or
happy and stuff, right? So it's really the communication and the way you communicate. It
the
needs
way,
to be, but for that, also you need to find yourself, right, and your truth and your desires in order to be able to communicate it properly and not from a hurt place
yeah,
or
absolutely. But equally, say if he takes this information as interpretation that he failed and he cannot, fulfill that desire because, for masculine, for men, it's important to feel that they're fulfilling the desires and, they're making that woman happy or something. And but at the same time, even if you communicate right, you can't really be responsible for his reaction, right?
right.
That's, because it's not about blaming your partner. It's about really acknowledging your desires.
And doing whatever needs to be done.
Yeah, and this is what I call emotional safety. When you express your desires and you're not afraid to be put down for that, to be criticized for that, to be called selfish or something like this, even if it's not possible. But, but that's another big conversation about relationships. But what I'm saying is very often in the family dynamics and in the relationship, this is where a lot of energy, woman's energy is being trapped as well.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because if she's not seen at home, where
Yes.
where her really important field is,
Yeah.
that slowly she's kind of stop allowing herself to even desire.
Yeah. Yeah. And even dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dream about things and then it's like becomes everything kind
Sure.
of gray and
Yeah.
yeah, it's soul killing.
Soul killing, soul destroying. And this is like neuroscience law, right? If you keep repeating the same thing for whatever number of days, weeks, you're building your neural pathways. It's not possible. It's not possible. Not allowed to desire, not allowed to desire. This is why it's important to be aware of that. And if you know that you're not going to be heard or seen, acknowledge it for yourself. Share with your best friend who will support you.
Right.
Share in a group of like-minded women who will hear you, who will say, hey, sister, I hear you. I cheer you on. It's important to find the circle of other women or people who will not criticize you for your
Yeah, and put you down because of this
decision.
and that. Yeah. What's one belief if you wish more women had around wealth creation?
One belief.
It can be two, okay?
One belief, because I think if that belief will be like embodied in a lot of women, that wealth can be achieved without burnout, because I think because of this, a lot of women don't go for growing their own businesses that they love, a fear of burnout. Um, so I think, it's totally possible, but you have to get out of your way and old ways, and you really have to install new paradigm, new belief system, right, for that.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Yes. So let's help others to build their wealth and their freedom and their little bubble where they can thrive and really find themselves and make the best out of it. Elina, thank you very much for being here. Where can people find you? What's going on in your business right now?
Yeah, they can find me on either Instagram on my Facebook page. I have a group, but as I said, I'm not maybe big fan of groups just yet. So yeah, I think I like to be I like going live on my Instagram, on my stories, and yeah, and also I build connections through personal connections on Messenger, and also I'm open for a free half-an-hour diagnostics call with me. To really go into detail of where you are, where you would like to
Yeah.
be, and how specifically I can help in your specific situation, because everybody is different, and see if you are feeling alignment and connection with me, because that's important for successful work.
We just talked about that. Yes, the
Talked
personal
about that, yes.
connection. Yes, yes, yes.
So if you resonated with the talk that we just had with Agnes, please join me on my Facebook.
And let's chat. Don't be shy, guys. Yes, reach out, message Elina that you've seen this call, and then you guys can go from there. This is a deep topic. I so appreciate your input, because I feel like this needs to be spread, right? And I want people to really understand this and hear it, and really go into the, even if we just give a little hope, right? Even if we just a nugget, golden nugget that you take away with yourself, and then I think we did our job. But it is coming, and we are rising, and feminine wealth is rising. So let's help others to do the same, right?
Thank you so much, Agnes. I'm really grateful for our divine connection.
Me too, and we will keep in touch. Thank you
Yes.
very much for being here.
Well, have a nice day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Bye.